In this video, I'm going to do an introduction to Scrivener. Scrivener is a writing tool that was really written, created for writers to write novels. But it is very, very popular with all sorts of both technical writers, lawyers, anyone who wrote a book. I started using it because I wrote a book on how to use the iPad with special needs users and disabled users, and I needed a much better way of organizing a large amount of information than Word. I mean, copying and pasting stuff in and out around Word can get really confusing very quickly. So I needed a way of sort of organizing large amounts of information, and I found Scrivener. Scrivener then has become almost everything. It's my research tool, my note tool. I keep everything in Scrivener. So in this video, I'm going to do a brief introduction. By far, there's no way I can make you an expert. This takes a while to become an expert at Scrivener. It's a very well thought out tool. It's just a phenomenal tool. But anyway, Scrivener, if I do a new project, Scrivener works on a template system. And for this introduction, I'm just going to use the blank template, but you can also see here how there's an essay in the Chicago style, there's a paper in APA, and there's a paper in MLA formats. There's also script writing, poetry, fiction, any type of writing, complex writing that you want to do. Scrivener is your tool. So I'm just going to start with a blank template, and I'm just going to choose that one. And I am just going to do a sample and save it. And this is going to launch up Scrivener. Now, Scrivener seems to start like a very simple, unassuming tool, and it's not very complex. It can be as simple as you want it to be. It can be as complex as you want it to be. When I was writing my book, I lived in it for 8 months. The file is huge. I wrote almost a 300 page book in it. So the way that Scrivener is organized is around two basic units. You have a folder and you have a document. So here I have 3 folders: draft, research, and trash. And my research and trash are empty. So let's look at the draft. So in draft, I have an untitled card. And you can see when I look at draft, I see it. There are sort of 3 different modes of viewing Scrivener. You can view it as a document, you can view it as cards, or you can view it as an outline. So let me show you this in card mode first. So I'm going to add a couple cards. The first thing I'm going to do is this is going to be, let's say I'm writing a paper and this is introduction, right? Intro. All right. Then I just want to add a new card, and notice how it's adding that, and I can type in idea 1, and then I hit plus, and I can type in idea 2. I can hit plus again, and I do conclusion. And if I come back up to the draft level, I see these cards that I have, and these are like index cards or like when you're outlining. And if I want to move an idea around, I just grab it and move it around. So now I have idea intro, idea 2, and now idea 1. If I want to move it back, I just grab it and move it back. I can also view, coming up here, it in continuous mode. So this is card 1, card 2, card 3, card 4, and I can see it in outline mode. So if I'm in here, notice what I can do. I can move these arrows. I can move them up or down. I can move them in. So now I have under conclusion, I have these ideas. And if I look at it in card form, it'll make a lot of sense to you. So now I've got the stack of cards under conclusion. I can now move conclusion at the beginning. I can move it back to the intro. I can come in here and move my ideas back up. And I can then move them in the right order. So there are 3 views that I can view my information in. I can view them in document mode. I can view them in card mode. And notice how if I'm on a single card and I look at card mode, it's not going to show me anything because there's nothing underneath it. But if I look at the whole draft folder, it's going to show me all my cards. And then I can look at it in outline mode. And I can add. So if I want to add here, I can add another document, another section. It's a good way of thinking about it. Another section. And if I don't like it, I can just take my section and I can just trash it. And now it's in my trash. And I can save it for later. I can undelete it. I can do whatever I want. Now, in this most basic way, you go, well, Word can do a lot of this stuff. Why is this important? Well, let's do some research. So I'm going to do a topic about disability. So I'm going to do Social Security Administration. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Social Security Administration right here, and I'm going to move my file right here. And under research, I'm going to create a folder and create a new folder, and I'm going to call this folder Social Security. So now I've got Social Security. What's really great about this is I can take this entire web page and just drag it in my Social Security folder. And it's going to take a snapshot of the web page, the whole thing, and it's going to put it in my document, and it's going to save it so that I always have it snapshotted right there. Now I can go even further. What if I want to just do screenshots of stuff? So here is a program called Sketch, and it's a free program. If I just want to take a screenshot of something, so I'm just going to take a screenshot of this. I'm going to capture it. And then I'm going to say, you know what's really important is this. Maybe draw an arrow to it and add some text. So it's important I've drawn an arrow. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab right down here under Sketch and drag and drop it straight into my folder. And it's going to ask me that I'm going to, oh, it's a PNG format. So let me see if I can save this in JPEG format. So now I'm going to save it in JPEG. I'm going to drag and drop it over here. And there is my JPEG. So what you can do with the research section is you can start assembling all of your materials, like your notes and everything for your research project. You can actually drag and drop whole PDF documents in here. You can do a lot of things that organize it all in one area. And so when you go to write, then it's just very easy because everything's very organized. So let's say I want to write about, I'm going to write about this page. So I've got the page on the bottom, and I'm going to write about it in terms of idea one. Well, look, I can bounce back and forth, or what I can do here is I can open up a second window, and now I've got, I can start writing about my idea while still looking at my page down here at the same time. And if I want to drag and drop that important document into my writing, so I'm going to do that and bring this back up here. If I want to drag that important document right there, picture into my writing, I can just drag it. Whoops. I'm going to just drag it right like that, and there it is. And so I can just keep going. And then when I want to go save my document, what you do here is you compile it so that it allows you to keep your you can copy and paste a bunch of stuff in there with a bunch of different formatting. Instead of going through and reformatting everything, you can just replace your text, all of your text, with a single quick font override. You can just override everything with Helvetica, and everything comes out clean and nice. So I can save it for print or PDF. I'm going to save it for PDF, and where are my content? So these are my different layers. I can choose to do page breaks for each one of them, and then I'll just quickly compile this and show you what the PDF looks like. So I'm going to sample yes. And then I'll show you what this PDF looks like. So this is my PDF. And because I made every section its own page, then you can see that I made every section its own page. And because I didn't have any titles in the sections, they didn't appear. But it is a very, and I'll show you as we go through this, how you literally can just write your thing, and if you use the right format template, it'll output everything perfectly formatted for you. So that'll be in the following videos. What you need to know here is this is the idea of documents and data all within the same file format that you can then export later on.